Hello, Class 4-3. Mr. Waterman here with today's Language Arts lesson for Period 1. It is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. I hope you all are doing safe and well. We are going to continue our unit on linking verbs, okay? But we are also going to look at punctuation today. Today we are going to look at colons, using colons, and using parentheses, okay? We are working on pages 85 and 86 of your grammar activities workbook. Okay, let's begin. Please listen very carefully as I read each point, and please feel free to read along with me. Point number 1. In a play, use a colon between each character's name and his or her words. Point number 2. Do not use quotation marks around dialogue in a play. It's very important to remember. We're going to put a star here. Point number 3. Start a new line each time a new character is speaking. Point number 4. Use parentheses, these are our parentheses, around stage directions. These are directions that tell what characters do on stage or how they say their words out loud. For example, George is supposed to talk loudly, so we put parentheses around the direction of what he is supposed to do. It's right here, Mr. Taylor. George holds up the book. We put parentheses around what he's supposed to do again. Okay? Now, the colon always goes after either the character's name, or if there's a direction for the character, it goes after the direction here. Okay? Let's practice a bit. Please listen to the directions. Rewrite each line of dialogue below. Add colons and parentheses where they are needed. Okay. Please listen as I read number 1. Mr. Bryant. Cheerfully. Class, we are going to act out a story in our reading book. Mr. Bryant smiles. Okay. So let's take this step by step. Mr. Bryant is our character in a play. He's supposed to speak cheerfully, so that's a direction that has been given. The first thing I need to do is to put parentheses around his direction, which is cheerfully. Okay? Once I do that, I need to add a colon. That tells us that Mr. Bryant is supposed to speak. Okay? Now, what I also like to do when I'm explaining colons is I like to say, colons tell us to pay attention. I'm going to write that here. Colons tell us to pay attention because something important is coming. Okay, let's continue. Class, we are going to act out a story in our reading book. Now, let's go back up here. We don't need quotation marks around dialogue in a play. So I'm going to take out the quotation marks there and there. I'm just going to scratch those out. Mr. Bryant smiles. So again, that's another stage direction that's being given, and I'm going to put parentheses around it. There we go. So now all I have left to do is to rewrite the lines with the corrections. So first, Mr., capital letters, Mr. Bryant, capital letters, parentheses, cheerfully, put my colon in. Now I can write his line. Class, we are going to act out a story in our reading book. Okay, and then the final direction in parentheses, Mr. Bryant smiles. Oh, put the period inside. There we go. And that's it for number 1. Please listen as I read numbers 2, 3, and 4. Olivia, calling out. Which story will we do, Mr. Bryant? Olivia waves her hand wildly in the air. Number 3, Mr. Bryant. Which story do you think will make a good play? Mr. Bryant shrugs his shoulders. Number 4, Carlos, slowly. How about Mystic Horse, Mr. Bryant? The whole class loved that book. For numbers 2, 3, and 4, please put in the colons as needed. Please put in the parentheses around the stage directions. When you're rewriting the lines, don't forget capital letters and full stops. Okay? Get some practice with this. Good luck. And let's move on to page 86. Okay, page 86, this is going to be our proofreading activity. Please listen as I read through the points very carefully and feel free to read along. Point number 1. A linking verb does not show action. It connects the subject to the rest of the sentence. Point number 2. Is, are, am, was, and were are often used as linking verbs. Point number 3. Some linking verbs link the subject to a noun in the predicate. So remember, the predicate is the part of the sentence that has the action. Point number 4. Some linking verbs link the subject to an adjective in the predicate. Please listen to the directions. Rewrite the lines of this play. Correct any linking verbs that are used incorrectly. Be sure to use proper punctuation for play. So everything that you learned on page 85 just now, you need to make sure you're putting it in when you're rewriting the lines for this play. Please listen as I read each line. TJ. I need an idea for my social studies project. I can't think of anything. TJ paces the room nervously. Kara, confidently. My project are about Pawnee folktales. TJ. That's a good idea, Kara. Kara opens the book and points to a picture. Kara. The Plains tribes is very interesting to read about. TJ. Excitedly. This were a great idea. Okay, so as you can see, we have mistakes with how the lines are written and what's used. We have quotation marks around the lines and those should not be there. We do not have parentheses around the stage directions. We do not have colons after the characters' names and after the direction that's been given. Okay? And we also have mistakes with linking verbs. Okay? For example, the Plains tribes is very interesting to read about. Make sure you find all of the mistakes. All right. So, let's do one together. TJ will do the first one. So TJ, these are his initials. Capital T, period, capital J, period. Okay? Now I'm going to put a colon after TJ's name because this is his line. No quotation marks are needed, so I'm going to take those out. I'll cross those out right away. Put my colons here. Now I can write my line. I need an idea for my social studies project. Okay. I can't think of anything. Okay, and I'll put my period here. Okay, so now this is stage direction. So I need to put parentheses around what TJ is supposed to do, how he is supposed to act. TJ paces the room nervously. And my parentheses around it. So we have fixed TJ's lines. And the next person you need to look at is Kara. Make sure you add the colon. Make sure you add the parentheses around the stage direction, how she is supposed to act. Please fix the other lines for Kara and TJ. And that is it for today's grammar activity, okay? Now, make sure you review the last 4 lessons very carefully, okay? Because you're going to have a test in Friday's class in the next activity. So please make sure you review everything very, very well, okay? I'll have the scanned copies there for you. Good luck with this activity. Take care And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Have a great day studying. Bye-bye.